Imagine a fortress. It is the strongest castle in the world. The walls are made of solid granite, 10 feet thick. The gates are reinforced with iron and steel. 1,000 archers stand on the towers, watching the horizon day and night. No army can breach these walls. No battering ram can break this gate. From the outside, the king inside seems invincible. He seems safe. But inside the castle, the king is dying. He is pale. He is weak. He can barely lift his head from the pillow. His gold is disappearing. His food is rotting. The fire in the hearth is turning to ash. Why? Because the enemy did not come with swords and shields to break down the door. The enemy did not declare war. The enemy knocked politely, and the king invited him in for dinner. The enemy is sitting at the king's table, drinking his wine, eating his bread, and slowly, invisible to the naked eye, poisoning the air he breathes. The king is not being conquered by force. He is being consumed by a parasite. Now, look at your life. You are the king. You are the queen. Your body and your mind are the fortress. You work hard to protect yourself. You lock your doors at night. You have passwords on your bank accounts. You take vitamins to protect your immune system against viruses. But despite all this protection, you feel tired. And I don't mean the good tired that comes after a day of honest work or heavy training. I mean a deep, heavy exhaustion that sits in your bones. You wake up after 8 hours of sleep, and you still feel drained. You walk into a room feeling happy, and 5 minutes later, you feel like the life has been sucked out of you. You feel heavy. You feel confused. You feel a sudden wave of anxiety that doesn't belong to you. You are not sick. You are not lazy. You are being fed upon. We live in a world of energy. Physics tells us this. Spiritual traditions tell us this. Chi, prana, life force. It is the currency of the universe. And just like in the financial world, there are those who earn their money. And there are thieves. There are entities, people in human form, who have broken their own connection to the source. They are empty inside. They are walking black holes. And because they cannot generate their own light, they must steal yours. They are the energy vampires. They are not monsters under the bed. They are your co-workers. They are your friends. Sometimes, tragically, they are your family. They do not bite your neck. They bite your spirit. They use drama. They use guilt. They use criticism. They use chaos to puncture your aura and drink your vitality. And the worst part? You let them do it. Because you were taught to be nice. You were taught to be polite. You were taught that setting a boundary is selfish, so you keep the gate open, and you wonder why your castle is crumbling. Today, we end the siege. I'm not going to teach you how to run away. A warrior does not run. I'm going to teach you the psychology of spiritual defense. I'm going to teach you how to build an immune system for your soul. We are going to identify the different species of these parasites, understand the wounds in you that attract them, and give you the weapons to seal your gates forever. You will learn to walk through the fire without getting burned. You will learn to look the vampire in the eye and give them absolutely nothing. The feast is over. Amituofo. Welcome, my friends. Welcome back to the path. This knowledge is a shield, but a shield is heavy. It requires strength to hold. Most people prefer to be victims because it is easier to blame others than to defend themselves. If you are ready to stop being food, if you are ready to reclaim the sovereignty of your energy, then make a small gesture of power right now. Click the like button, not for the algorithm but for yourself. Let it be a signal, a digital seal, that you are closing your gates to toxicity. Subscribe if you want to join the order of those who cannot be drained. Now, let us enter the Bestiary. Let us name the demons. In the Shaolin temple, we have a saying, if you do not know the name of the tiger, you cannot tame the tiger. The first step to immunity is identification. Energy vampires are not all the same. They have different hunting styles. They use different weapons. If you use the wrong defense, you will fail. We have categorized them into 4 main archetypes. Listen closely. As I describe them, faces will appear in your mind. Do not push them away. Look at them. Archetype number 1, the eternal victim. This is the most common and the most deceptive type. They do not look dangerous. They look helpless. They look like a wounded bird. Their weapon is pity. They always have a crisis. Every time you talk to them, the world is against them. My boss hates me. My partner doesn't understand me. I have this new illness. Why does this always happen to me? You, being a person of empathy, you want to help. You are the savior. You offer solutions. Have you tried talking to your boss? Have you tried this medicine? And what do they say? Yes, but he won't listen. Yes, but I can't afford it. Yes, but it's too hard. They reject every solution you offer. Why? Because they do not want a solution. If they had a solution, they would lose their identity as the victim. If they were healed, they would lose your attention. They want your energy, not your advice. They want you to sit there and pour your sympathy into their bottomless bucket. You leave the conversation feeling exhausted, frustrated, and heavy. They leave feeling lighter, refreshed, and ready to find the next person to dump on. Archetype number 2, the superior judge. This vampire does not want your pity. They want your power. They feel small inside, microscopic. To feel big, they must make you feel small. Their weapon is judgment. They are masters of the microaggression. They don't slap you in the face, they give you a paper cut. Thousands of them. Oh, you're wearing that? It's brave of you. You got the promotion? I'm surprised. Usually they pick people with more experience. You're going to the gym? Good for you, you really need it. They disguise insults as honesty or jokes. If you get upset, they gaslight you. Wow, you're so sensitive. Can't you take a joke? Their goal is to puncture your self-esteem. When you doubt yourself, you leak energy. You shrink. And as you shrink, they expand. They feed on your insecurity like a shark feeds on blood in the water. You find yourself constantly trying to impress them, trying to prove your worth. Stop. You are trying to fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. Archetype number 3, the chaos architect. This vampire is addicted to adrenaline. For them, peace is boring. Peace feels like death. They need a storm to feel alive. And if there is no storm, they will create one. Their weapon is urgency. Everything is an emergency. Everything is life or death. They call you at midnight screaming. They start fights at parties. They spread rumors just to watch people argue. They are the eye of the tornado, staying calm while everyone around them is spinning in panic. They feed on your emotional reaction. If you are calm, they will poke you until you explode. If you are happy, they will bring up a tragedy. They need your heart rate to be high. They need your cortisol to spike. Because when you are in a state of high emotion, your gates are wide open. You are flooding the room with energy, and they are drinking it all up. Archetype number 4, the false idol. This is the most dangerous of all. This is the apex predator. The other vampires might drain you by accident or out of weakness. The false idol drains you by design. Their weapon is seduction. At first, they are not draining. They are energizing. They love bomb you. They tell you that you are the most amazing person they have ever met. They put you on a pedestal. They mirror your dreams. You think, finally, someone who sees me. This is my soulmate. You open your castle gates wide. You give them the keys to the treasury. And then, once you are hooked, the switch flips. The devaluation begins. Suddenly you are not good enough. You are boring. You are crazy. They withdraw their affection to punish you. You spend all your energy trying to get back to that golden period at the beginning. You work harder. You apologize for things you didn't do. You sacrifice your boundaries. They are feeding on your desperation. They want to be worshipped. And worship requires sacrifice. The sacrifice is your soul. These are the four horsemen of the apocalypse for your energy: the victim, the judge, the dramatist, the narcissist. Recognize them. Do you see their faces? Good. Now comes the harder question. The question that requires true courage. If they are so toxic, if they are so draining, why did you let them in? Why is your gate unlocked? To become immune, we must stop looking at them for a moment and look at the wound within you that invited them. We have identified the enemy outside. Now, we must do something much harder. We must identify the traitor inside. If you have watched this far, I know something about you. You are likely an empath. You are likely a giver. You are the person everyone calls when they are in trouble. You are the person who feels the emotions of others as if they were your own. And you probably think this is your greatest virtue. Society tells you, be kind, be helpful, turn the other cheek. But let me tell you a brutal truth from the Shaolin perspective. Unchecked empathy is not a gift. It is an open wound. Why do vampires target you specifically? Why don't they target the narcissist next door? Because you have a breach in your wall. This breach is often created in childhood. Perhaps you were the good child. You learned that to receive love, you had to be useful. You learned that your value came from fixing other people's problems. You learned to suppress your own needs to keep the peace in the house. You developed a savior complex. When you see a vampire, a person in chaos, a person in pain, your subconscious mind lights up. You don't see a predator. You see a project. You think, I can fix him. I can heal her. If I just love them enough, they will change. This is the trap. The vampire needs a savior to validate their victimhood. The savior needs a victim to validate their worth. It is a perfect, toxic lock and key, a dance of death. Biologically, this is driven by mirror neurons. These are cells in your brain that allow you to mimic and feel what another person is feeling. For an empath, these neurons are hyperactive. It is like having your Wi-Fi Bluetooth on discoverable mode to everyone, 24 hours a day. When the vampire is angry, you feel angry. When they are sad, you feel heavy. You absorb their emotional waste because you don't know where they end and you begin. In Buddhism, we distinguish between true compassion and idiot compassion. True compassion is giving a man a stick so he can walk. Idiot compassion is carrying a man who has perfectly good legs, simply because he refuses to walk. When you let an energy vampire drain you, you are not being spiritual. You are not being kind. You are enabling their weakness. You are preventing them from facing their own karma. And in the process, you are destroying the vehicle, your body and mind, that you were given to fulfill your own purpose. You must close this breach. You must realize that self-sacrifice is not a requirement for sainthood. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you certainly cannot pour into a cup that has no bottom. It is time to stop being the savior. It is time to become the warrior. Philosophy is useless without practice. Knowing why they drain you is the first step. Knowing how to stop them in the moment is the second. I'm going to give you specific tactical protocols. These are not theoretical. These are tools you can use at the dinner table, in the office meeting, or on the phone. Protocol number 1, the gray rock method. The vampire feeds on reaction. They want supply. If they insult you, they want to see you defend yourself or get angry. If they cry, they want to see you scramble to help. If they create chaos, they want to see you panic. Reaction is the blood. So, how do you starve them? You become a gray rock. Have you ever seen a boring gray rock on the side of the road? Do you stop to talk to it? Do you try to manipulate it? Do you get angry at it? No. You walk past it. It offers you nothing. When the vampire attacks, you must become uninteresting. You must become boring. You remove all emotional content from your face and your voice. You answer with monologues. Vampire: I can't believe you did that. You are so selfish. You: I hear your opinion. Vampire: my life is over. Everything is ruined. You: that sounds difficult. Vampire: Why aren't you saying anything? Don't you care? You. I am listening. Do not JADE. Do not justify. Do not argue. Do not defend. Do not explain. When you stop feeding them reaction, they will try harder at first. This is called an extinction burst. They will scream louder. Hold the line. Be the rock. Eventually, they will realize the restaurant is closed. They will get bored. And they will leave to find someone else who will feed them. This is the art of Wu Wei, doing by not doing. By doing nothing reactively, you achieve everything. Protocol number 2, verbal Aikido. Sometimes being silent is not enough. Sometimes you need to deflect the energy back to the sender. In Aikido, you do not block a punch. You use the momentum of the punch to throw the opponent. We can do this with words. When the judge or the passive-aggressive vampire throws a verbal punch at you, do not absorb it. Ask a mirror question. Vampire: wow, you look really tired today. Are you sick? You: what is your intention in asking that? Vampire: I'm just saying, I'm worried. You: it sounds like you are analyzing my appearance very closely. Why is that? Vampire: you've changed. You think you're better than us. You: that is an interesting story you are telling yourself. Why do you think you feel that way? Notice what happened? You didn't defend yourself. You didn't say, no, I'm not tired. You turned the spotlight back on them. You forced them to explain their rudeness. Vampires hate the spotlight. They operate in the shadows of implication. When you ask them to explain their intention, they panic. They retreat. Oh, never mind, I was just joking. Use the phrase, help me understand. Help me understand why you are speaking to me with that tone. It is polite, it is calm, but it is a wall of steel. But the most powerful defense is not what you say, it is what you build in the unseen realm. We must learn to construct the golden force field. This is a practice we must do together, right now. We have spoken about words, we have spoken about psychology, but the ultimate defense is not intellectual, it is energetic. You must learn to build a structure in the unseen world. We call this the Golden Bell Shield. If you are watching this and you feel open, like you are walking around without skin, this exercise is for you. We are going to do it together. Do not skip this. This is the installation of your antivirus software. Sit up straight. Put your feet flat on the floor to ground your electricity. Rest your hands on your knees. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, deep into your lower belly. Hold it. Exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing all the tension in your shoulders. Now visualize a small, brilliant spark of golden light in the center of your chest. This is your Shen, your spirit. It is indestructible. With every breath you take, I want you to make that light brighter. Inhale. The light expands to fill your chest. Exhale. The light becomes solid. Now imagine that light expanding outside of your body. It forms a sphere around you, a bubble of pure, golden light. It extends 3 feet in front of you, 3 feet behind you, 3 feet above your head and below your feet. You are floating in the center of a sun. Now look at the edge of that bubble. Visualize the surface hardening. It is not mist anymore. It is turning into hardened glass or diamond. It is transparent, but it is impenetrable. See the walls of your bubble shimmering. Now invite the vampire into your mind's eye. See them standing outside your bubble. See them throwing their words at you. See them throwing their chaos, their guilt, their negativity like black tar. Watch what happens. The tar hits the golden glass and slides off. It does not touch you. It cannot reach your skin. You are inside, breathing clean air. They are outside, choking on their own smoke. Say this mantra internally. This is my space. You have no power here. I return this energy to its source. Take one last deep breath to lock the shield in place. Open your eyes. Do you feel that? That subtle shift? That is the boundary. You must do this every morning before you leave your house, before you walk into that office, before you answer that phone call. Put on your armor. Because a warrior does not walk onto the battlefield naked. We have built the shield. We have learned the gray rock. But now, we must face the reality. It is easy to block a stranger on the internet. It is easy to walk away from a rude person at the grocery store. But what happens when the vampire sleeps in the next room? What happens when the vampire signs your paycheck? This is where the spiritual war becomes real. We must apply our protocols to the two hardest battlefields, the family and the workplace. Battlefield number 1, the blood tie. This is the deepest wound. In strict Asian culture and in many Western cultures, we are taught, family is everything. Honor your parents. The toxic family member knows this. They use duty and guilt as their primary weapons. If you try to set a boundary with a narcissistic mother or a victim father, they will say, I gave you life. After everything I sacrificed for you, this is how you treat me. You are ungrateful. This triggers a deep, primal fear in you. The fear of being an orphan. The fear of being a bad child. So, how do you defend yourself without destroying the family? You must use the benevolent distance technique. You do not have to cut them off completely, but you must demote their access. Imagine your life is a VIP nightclub. Before, your toxic family member had an all-access pass. They could come into the VIP section, the DJ booth, and the manager's office. Now, you take away the pass. They are still allowed in the club, but they must stay in the general admission area. Practical script. Mother, why don't you visit me every day? You don't love me anymore. You. I love you, Mom. I am available on Sunday for lunch. I look forward to seeing you then. Notice the difference? You validated the love. You set the boundary. You ignored the guilt trip. You repeat this like a broken record. They will scream. They will cry. They will call your siblings to complain about you. Let them. You are safe in the VIP section. You are not being cruel. You are being healthy. A drowning lifeguard cannot save anyone. Battlefield number 2, the golden cage. The second battlefield is where you make your money. You cannot just walk away from a vampire boss or a vampire colleague immediately. You have bills to pay, but you also cannot let them destroy your mental health for a paycheck. The workplace vampire usually attacks in 2 ways. The credit stealer. They take your ideas. The time thief. They dump their work on you or keep you in endless meetings just to hear themselves talk. Here, we use the BIF protocol. Every communication with a workplace vampire must be brief, informative, friendly, firm. Scenario: a coworker sends you a frantic email at 9 p.m. We have a huge problem. The client hates everything. You need to fix this now, or we are all fired. Call me. Your old reaction: panic, anxiety spike. You call them immediately and listen to them vent for 45 minutes. Your BIFF reaction: you wait until 9 a.m. the next morning. The email: good morning, John. I see you are concerned about the client feedback. Please send me the specific bullet points of their complaints, and I will address them in the 2 p.m. meeting. You stripped out the emotion. You stripped out the urgency. You kept it professional. You turned a Category 5 hurricane into a simple task list. The documentation: shield. If your boss is a narcissist who gaslights you, your defense is paper. After every verbal meeting, send a follow-up email. Just to recap our conversation, you asked me to prioritize Project A over Project B. I will proceed with this instruction. Now, when Project B fails and he screams, "Why didn't you do Project B?" you have the shield. Per my email on Tuesday, I followed your direct instruction. The vampire hates paper trails. Vampires hate clarity. They thrive in the fog. Your job is to be the lighthouse. Shine the light of clarity, and the shadow cannot survive. We have secured the office. We have secured the family dinner. But there is a specific time when the vampire is most dangerous. There is a time when your shields are naturally down. The first hour of the morning and the last hour of the night. In the Shaolin temple, these hours are sacred. They belong to the spirit. But in the modern world, this is when the vampire attacks. They send you the chaotic text message at 11:30 p.m., right before you sleep. They send you the angry email at 6 a.m., right when you wake up. Why? Because your subconscious mind is open. If you read a toxic message before you sleep, your brain will marinate in that cortisol all night. You will wake up exhausted without knowing why. If you read a crisis message the moment you open your eyes, your nervous system spikes into fight or flight before your feet even touch the floor. Your entire day is ruined before it began. Protocol, the digital moat. You must dig a moat around your sleep. Do not bring the phone into the bedroom. Buy an old-fashioned alarm clock. Do not check your messages for the first 30 minutes of the day. Protect your alpha state. If a vampire cannot reach you during these hours, they lose 50% of their power over your mood. You must be unavailable to the chaos so you can be available to your purpose. Battlefield number 3, the bedroom. Now we must speak of the most intimate danger, the vampire in the bed. This is the hardest to detect because they use the most potent drug in the world, oxytocin. How do you spot a vampire in the early stages of dating? They do not show you fangs. They show you a mirror. They use a technique called mirroring. You like hiking? I love hiking. You listen to jazz? I love jazz. We are soulmates. It feels perfect. It feels like destiny. But it is a trap. Real connection takes time to build. Instant perfection is usually a camouflage. The boundary test. Here is how you expose them immediately. Within the first few weeks, set a small, reasonable boundary. Say no to something small. I can't see you tonight. I need to rest. I don't want to talk about that topic yet. Watch their reaction closely. A healthy partner will say, okay, no problem. Rest well. A vampire will punish you. They will pout. They will go silent. They will say, oh, I guess you don't miss me. They will try to make you feel guilty for having a need. If someone punishes you for setting a boundary, run. Do not walk. Run. They are showing you that their need for supply is more important than your need for safety. Do not try to fix them. Do not try to heal their childhood trauma with your love. You are a partner, not a rehabilitation center. The physical detox. Finally, we must address the body. Even with the best shields, even with the best gray rock, sometimes the mud gets through. Sometimes you leave a meeting and you feel slime on you. Energy is sticky. You need a physical protocol to wash it off. Technique 1, the cold water shock. When you feel drained, go to the bathroom. Splash cold water on your face and your wrists. Cold water stimulates the vagus nerve. It tells your body, the danger is over. Reset. Wash your hands up to the elbows. Visualize the black tar of their negativity washing down the drain. Technique 2, shaking the tree. Animals do this. When a gazelle escapes a lion, it shakes its entire body violently for 2 minutes. It is shaking off the adrenaline. It is resetting the nervous system. Humans? We hold it in. We sit still and let the stress rot our organs. Stand up, keep your feet flat, and shake. Shake your hands, shake your knees, bounce on your heels. Exhale loudly. Ha! Do this for 60 seconds. You will feel a tingling sensation. That is your chi returning. That is the stagnant energy leaving. You have the mental tools. You have the verbal tools. You have the physical tools. You are now fully armed. But there is one final step. The step that turns the warrior into the master. It is the realization that the vampire is not just an enemy. If you look closely, if you look with the eyes of wisdom, the vampire is actually serving you. We arrive at the final level of mastery. Most people stop at defense. They learn to block. They learn to hide. But the Shaolin master goes further. He learns transmutation. He asks, how can I use this enemy to make me stronger? How can I turn this poison into medicine? The vampire is not just a pest. The vampire is a teacher. Think of sandpaper. Sandpaper is rough. It is abrasive. If you rub it against your skin, it hurts. It bleeds. But if you rub it against a piece of rough wood, it smooths it. It polishes it. It reveals the masterpiece underneath. The vampire is your sandpaper. They are in your life to show you where you are still rough. They are showing you where you still have attachments to. Approval. Why do I need this person to like me? Guilt. Why do I feel guilty for saying no? Ego. Why do I need to be the savior? Every time they trigger you, they are pointing to a wound in you that is not yet healed. If you were truly healed, if you were truly sovereign, they would not trigger you. You would look at them with neutral compassion, like a doctor looks at a patient with a fever. You would not get infected. So instead of hating them, thank them. Silently, in your heart, say, thank you for showing me where I was weak. Now I know where to build my wall. Thank you for showing me that I still needed validation. Now I will validate myself. This is the alchemical shift. You stop being the victim of the vampire, and you become the student of the experience. When you learn the lesson, the teacher often disappears. When you finally set the boundary and mean it, the vampire often leaves your life automatically. Why? Because there is no more food. They cannot feed on a sovereign being. They are repelled by the light of your self-respect. But be warned, when you make this shift, when you stop feeding them, there will be a period of silence. There will be a period of solitude. You might lose friends. You might lose family connections. The phone will stop ringing because you are no longer the dumping ground for their problems. Do not be afraid of this silence. This is not loneliness. This is sanctuary. This is the cocoon phase. The caterpillar must be alone in the cocoon to dissolve and become the butterfly. If you interrupt the process, if you run back to the toxic people because you are lonely, you will die a caterpillar. Embrace the void. Use that energy you were wasting on them to build your empire, to heal your body, to sharpen your mind, reclaim your resources. We have traveled a long road today. We have looked into the eyes of the shadows. We have looked into the mirror of our own wounds. We have built the golden shield. You now have the tools. But tools are useless if they are left in the toolbox. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Next time the phone rings and you see that name, pause. Check your somatic alarm. Does your stomach tighten? If yes, practice the gray rock, or simply do not answer. Next time they try to make you feel guilty, breathe. Visualize your shield. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Your energy is the most expensive currency you have. It is more valuable than Bitcoin. It is more valuable than gold. Because with energy, you can create anything. Without energy, you are nothing but a ghost in a shell. When you finally close the gate to those who drain you, something magical happens. The silence returns. The color returns to your face. The fire returns to your hearth. You realize that you were never broken. You were just depleted. And now that the leak is stopped, the vessel fills itself. Walk with your head high. Walk with your shield bright. You are the king. You are the queen. The castle is yours. Long live the sovereign. Amituofo.